Still on our way to Kentucky. Had a pretty good night at Dayton. We'll make a video about the entirety of our racing schedule from Saturday. Pretty decent day at the office. A few little hiccups here and there, but for the most part, a pretty good day. Let's talk about the 3-year-olds. Admiral Dio, his qualifier, I haven't talked to Harry yet. His qualifier looked okay, but I would have expected a little bit more. So we'll see how everything plays out with Admiral Dio over the next few weeks. I mean, it's pretty hard to judge the horse off 2 qualifiers. I know that Harry liked them very much, but again, now you're getting into schooling, qualifying, and you can't hide. You are what you are, and you're not what you're not. So we'll see what Admiral Dio is over the next little bit. Arson certainly is a nice horse. Raced good again today. The track was super, super heavy at Kentucky, and Arson ended up getting away 6. Made a good move in the last turn, second over, but ultimately just got beat. Beat maybe a length and a half for second, but raced rather well in a valiant effort, finishing 5th. Casanova Hall is in to go Wednesday. I had a good talk tonight with Chris Lems about the drives he's on of hers this week. Casanova Hall trained well this morning. It was muddy out, and I had to go and train. We trained 5 of them in the race bike, and he was one of them. I thought the horse trained rather well, and from the 7.5 I don't really know how things are going to play out. We'll see what Chris opts to do with him, but the horse is coming in sharp. Chime Bell. I had a good discussion. Amy was there tonight. We were talking about Chime Bell and what our thoughts were with her. I want to put the hobbles on her. I think they'll help her. I don't see a whole lot of lameness anywhere, but she does get on the left line and does run out quite a bit down the lane. And in the backstretch, leaving the car, you just got to watch her a little bit, and it feels like she wants to be cut loose, but you just can't do it. So I might slide the hobbles on her. I haven't talked to Jason very much about it. I talked to him briefly today, but since she didn't get in next week, I'd be interested in schooling her actually Wednesday afternoon with the hobbles on. Dreon raced very good this week. Not as good as he did last week. You know, he whacked it out, got parked all the way to the 3/8, 55 and 4 1/2, and looked a little flat, finishing up his mile under scope. There was nothing found. We'll check the blood work on him and see if there's anything we can see there. But mechanically, Aaron said the horse was trotting well. George of the Jungle, I talked to Dominic. He's probably going to make his way over to Ohio now. There's not a whole lot left from an Ontario. He's not a Mohawk horse. I have zero interest in racing in, London and Flamborough or Georgian or whatever's going, or Grand River, whatever's going right now. I think racing in the classes he fits over here well makes the most sense. Hallie in the Clouds, I was surprised. Hallie's always been a little off going on the track. Left front, right? Was it? Remember? Yeah. I think it was left front. She's sound as a dollar, and I trained her yesterday. I trained her hard yesterday for her first trip back. I told you guys there'll be no excuses from Hallie in the Clouds anymore. She is going to do a lot of work over the next 2-3 weeks as we get her back ready to go. She is a well-bred filly. We did give a lot of money for this filly. So there is some value there as a broodmare, but I would like to get her racing and see what she can do as a racehorse. I just don't think we've seen the best of her yet. Looks like she needed that break, needed to wait till the break in the weather also. I don't think she did her best racing in the heat. So now she has nothing to hide from. No excuses. She's got to come forward for us now. I'm Fancy Like drew the 6-hole in Yonkers on Tuesday. This may be our last start with I'm Fancy Like. I don't know. We'll see. Insider trading. I thought she qualified well, raced well. Her first start raced well again the other day. Now she's getting close. I told Tim 3 starts from going a big mile, but that confidence is growing, but it's not there yet where you just let her blast right out of the car. I just don't think you can. So we're just going to have to continue with baby steps with her for now. Irresistible Sun trained good this morning. I've seen him train better, but again, with that off track, it's really hard to gauge it. I thought the horse trained rather well, though. La Dorian did not get in this week. She'll be in to go next week. What an incredible mile she went last week. I was really, really impressed with her. She's another horse can find herself at Mohawk pretty easy also. I want to have the right horses in all our jurisdictions. And if she's going to race for a lot of money in the nomination 2 and 3 up at Mohawk, then maybe that's where she should be. I'm not sold on it. I don't know yet. I know there's a lot of people that own shares. Like, oh no, I don't have an Ontario license. Guys, we're trying to race all the horses in the best place we can. And if La Dorian is going to fit somewhere else, then so be it. We'll see how she races next week, and then we'll go from there. Lonely Lakewood, I don't believe... Is he in this week? I think he is. is, actually. I think he is in this week somewhere. I'm not positive. Race good his last start. I think he'll race good again in that class. He's in the right spot. Lover's Play made a break. Sitting ninth tonight. I don't know what the hell happened with her. Oh, no. Did she run a mirror last start? Now she's going to qualify. Oh, no, she doesn't. Sloppy track. We'll check the results. I know in Pennsylvania and Ohio, if you make a break in the slop, it doesn't count. I'm not positive. Can you check and see? Just the line on she was in race 3, I think, from Northfield today. Love and Affection raced good the other day. I expect a little bit more from her, but she is racing pretty good. No complaints there. Marching fourth, looks like he's gonna get better and better and better and better and better. I think he is marching fourth right now. Really, really impressed with what I've seen from that horse. Mel Gibbs won. His leg looks good now. I think Stacy's almost ready to start back again with him. It's a little setback. We had him ready to go, and his leg ended up getting a little heat in it. And literally, when you're dealing with heat, soft tissue stuff, where there is smoke or heat, in this case, there is fire, and it can cause a lot of trouble. The last thing you want to do is see a horse re-injure an area like that. So we just kind of hit him, put him in neutral for another couple of weeks. But I think he's ready to start back jogging now. Memory and Imagination trained great this morning, 57 in the mud. I know Jason's looking for a class for a bunch of those horses in Dayton next Friday. We'll see how that plays out. We'll see what goes on with them. Mounts for All, he's in Ontario right now, jogging back. I think very highly of this horse, and I think we got a really nice horse in our hands when we get him all squared away. Pickpocket was absolutely great this morning training. I was thoroughly impressed because I really didn't think he'd get around Northfield that well. That was a big mile from him in the mud today. I was really impressed with him. He's tight. He's ready to go for next weekend. Purple People Eater, we'll get her back in to go. I think she fits the Buckeye Consolation, if I'm not mistaken. But after that, we'll likely start shopping her as a broodmare prospect. She's got a mark of 57 and $100,000 made. Decently bred filly. I think there's probably a spot for her somewhere. Ready for Landing has been back in for the past week and a half, Tim told me. I did not know that. So he's back jogging now, getting prepared to start back for the fall for us. Really Don't Care is supposed to be racing this week at Mohawk. We'll see how that plays out. Sunset Acres Girl will be coming back to Northfield immediately. We'll race her in the Maiden. I believe she fits the Maiden. It's not on. It doesn't show slot. Oh, great. She got to qualify. Jeez, she shows a break, right? Anyway, we'll get her qualified Wednesday, I guess. Tenacious Hanover, he'll have a week off. We entered him, he was also eligible, so Dr. Otessa and Jason decided to do some vet work on him. They used a tiny drop of cortisone. With the withdrawal times, I think, is 10 days, so it works out fine. He'll be back in to go, not this week, but the following week. Time Is On My Side was incredible today. Very, very impressed with Time Is On My Side and how he raced today off 19 days. Just the horse looked great. Looked very, very good. Great job by Tim. Great job by Aaron. Vehement is in. I talked to Chris about him too. I said, Chris, trained him in 2-1, come out 58. The horse feels very, very good. He said, but we changed all his shoes and all his equipment from what it was. So just let him trot out of the car however he wants, and when it feels like he's got his feet under him, let him rock. That's the plan with Vehement. Watch Your Mouth made a break. He probably, I'll talk to John a little bit about this guy, but I don't know how much longer he's going to stay at the stable. There's a couple more stragglers that are going to be weeded out here soon enough, and that will be the last of them, I think, for the fall. Widespread Panic, very frustrated, just cannot. This is why this guy went to Indiana to begin with. It's because we cannot get him in to go. Well, he's going to be entered in, I suspect, the Meadows next week if there's a class on Thursday. If there's not, then he's just going to be entered in to go at Dayton. Tim was supposed to train him up today, and we'll see if we can get him in and racing. So those are your 3-year-olds. Now, coming back, Amy and I are going to talk about all the 2-year-olds. We're going to grade them all. I think it's important. It's the end of the season. I want to talk about each horse and how it did, what it didn't do, what it did do, how we can improve it, or what we're looking for in 2025. So that should be a long video. We'll be back in a minute to do that.